If you actually want to build a saleable business, you need to think about that. You need to think about the future. And this is where I think a lot of business owners, going back to where we started, aren't thinking about what they're optimizing for. They're just thinking, all right, as long as I make more revenue than last year, it means my business is growing, right? And as long as I make more again the next year, I'm still growing. And if I just keep doing that, then by proxy, somewhere along the line, I'm going to end up with a lot of money, either because my business will suddenly magically start spouting more profit, which is probably unlikely unless you really pay attention to it, or I'm going to be able to sort of maybe someone's going to walk along and just go, man, I really love your business. Can I buy it? And I'm going to get rich and happy days. Firstly, I think if you need to be thinking about what function does your business serve in your wealth creation strategy. Now, a lot of businesses aren't built to sell. A lot of businesses, even if you wanted to build them to sell, you might not be able to. They just might not hold enough asset value. You might have too much key man risk and stuff like this. It might be too intrinsically tied to the skill sets and knowledge of the owner, unless you can pick all that apart and specifically structure it to be saleable. But most business owners aren't thinking about what is my business in my wealth strategy. They're just thinking like, oh, I guess we just make money, right? I think that's the function. Is that the function? Whereas I think if you want to really think about optimizing for wealth, you can optimize for wealth within your business. But I also think that you need to be optimizing for wealth outside of your business and really putting that to work. Because if you were to put yourself in a similar situation where, you built a business for 10 years and then, you managed to sell it for, $8 million. And then you had also along the way built a $5 million property portfolio. And that's paying you, I don't know, I'm just pulling numbers out of the air, but let's say that's paying you $5,000 a month, for example. And then you went to Bondi and you saw this amazing place that had been built on a corner and you said, wow, I wonder how much that is for rent. And that's going to cost you, I don't know, $5,000 a month, for example, to rent. That might be all your cash flow from your properties, but you've still got $8 million and then you've got money to spend. And I think thinking about how to structure these in different ways on a wealth strategy is so important, because this is, I think, one of the biggest reasons why business owners typically end up, burnt out, tired, and really don't have a lot to show for it.
It's interesting. A good friend of mine, shout out to Dave Jennings. He's probably one of the best thinkers on the idea of actually creating a saleable business. Very, very clever guy. But when I look at the way Dave does business compared to the average business owner, he's behaving in a way where his business is almost like a property. Like, he doesn't work in it. It has systems for everything. The people and staff that work in it, it's like it's been built as an asset to sell.
Yeah.
So that it's a part of that journey. It's not, he hasn't been working madly in it trying to grow revenue and cash flow and created key man risk and built his brand identity into it and done all these things that would make it unsaleable. He's had a very, very different intention from the start. Like, he's behaved in complete, I wouldn't say complete opposite, but the pathway he's taken within growing that business has been under the assumption that this is an asset for sale. That's all he's really optimized for at all. So he's done that wealth strategy in a completely different way. So I can see how it's doable, but that's not doable in all business types. And that's where what we're suggesting here becomes, I guess, so much more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So if you either don't have the skill set, inclination, or whatever to do that like Dave is doing, and to build those fully systemized, created assets, that's what they are. He's basically manufacturing assets.
That's a great way to think about it. I love the way you just suggested that. He's manufacturing assets.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Much in the same way that you can build a house and you can go, okay, well, what does the market want? The market wants a 3-bedroom house with a marble bench top, and I'll manufacture that saleable asset, and then I'll either rent it out or I'll sell it to the marketplace. Simple.